2 Timothy chapter 2. We're crawling our way through verse 22. Awesome advice from a mentor to his protege, Paul to Timothy, and us, obviously. Flee the evil desires of youth. Not all the desires of youth, but the evil ones. And if you're going to flee from that, your best bet is to not just run in any direction, but to go in a specific direction. And that's what he says next. Pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart. Already talked about pursuing righteousness and pursuing faith. And, this time, pursue love. You could go days and days talking about, thinking about, writing about, reading about love. It's maybe one of the biggest subjects in all of life, certainly in the Christian life. I grew up as a high school kid in the 60s, right? 67, 68, 68, 69, 70, and 71, and graduated in 1971 from high school. And if you're an old person, you could remember those times. If you're not old, you probably need to look at some kind of a history thing. I don't know where you would go. I'll just tell you my experience in that time frame was a big chant was "Make love, not war." Horrible things happened in that time frame. I can't deny that. Drugs of all kinds were becoming, especially on college campuses, were becoming everyday normal, not normal. The culture was messed up. I'm hearing myself say that and thinking, was there ever a time when culture wasn't messy? Not in my lifetime. I mean, sometimes it was not as messy, or sometimes it was a different kind of mess, but culture is about human beings. We're messy. But this whole idea of love, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's a great song. And there's a grain of truth in that. Will there ever be a time that the world doesn't need love? And what the world most needs will always be love in some form. I've told you before, my favorite definition of love came from B.A. Austin. Love is doing for the other person what they really need. Let's revisit that with me. This is not about me doing for the other person what I want to do for them. That doesn't work. That doesn't fit with this definition. And it also doesn't mean me doing for the other person what I think they need, because I may not interpret and evaluate their need accurately. Okay, it is not doing for the other person what they want me to do for them. It's not doing for the other person what they think they need me to do for them. It's doing for the other person what they really need. And how do you ever get there? Well, you don't get there accidentally very often. You do this intentionally. Dennis Rainey, the founder of the Family Life Ministry, that is the origin of my favorite marriage enrichment experience. It's called A Weekend to Remember. I don't care how long you've been married, if you have never been to A Weekend to Remember, you should consider going. And here's the other thing. If you're, as my wife and I, at the end of this month, we celebrate 48 years of marriage. which is a testament really more to her than to me. We're at a stage where now our kids and couples that we love who are younger than us, these are the people we want to help find a way to go to a weekend to remember. But anyway, the whole point, what Dennis Rainey said was, become a student of your spouse. Why? Because here's why you want to study them. Because when you study them, if you study them carefully and well, guided by God's Spirit, you will begin to discern what they really need. This is huge. So we got to go back in that formula to ask God for his help. Ask the Holy Spirit to teach you what the one you love really needs. Okay. Second idea about love is one I got from John Lynch, where he said, I experience love when I feel my needs are met. At first, when I read that, I thought, But then the longer I've thought about it, the more I think that's absolutely the case. I experience love when I feel my needs are being met. Okay. That has obviously a direct connect to doing for the other person what they really need. It also has a little bit of a, twist, or not twist, but a little bit of this thing in it that sometimes I don't really know what I need. I only know what I feel I need. And that's a factor. Can't eliminate it. But that doesn't mean that me experiencing love has nothing to do with feeling my needs met. It has everything to do with that. If I want to be loved by my wife, Debbie, and I do, I've got lots of options. One that doesn't have very good returns is the idea that I'll just let her figure it out. I've often in marriage counseling, I hear the phrase, they should have known. And probably we should have known. Okay. I'm not going to dispute that. But if they're seeing me because of marriage difficulties, they didn't know. Right, let's leave it there. I could get really pretty much onto a hobby horse there. That won't do anybody any good. So the first, and this happens for a lot of people, is they're waiting for the other person to figure it out. They should know what I need, what I feel I need. A second option is for me to focus on me, because what I think I need is the most important thing in the world. That has a very short shelf life in relationships. There's a simple word for that. It's called selfishness. Okay. A third option is to thoughtfully, with the help of God's Spirit, to evaluate what my needs actually are. We have two kinds of needs. We have felt needs and we have real needs. And there are times when we feel the real need. But there are other times when we feel a need that is not an actual need. You get that. So thinking carefully and deeply with the Holy Spirit's help about what do I really need. This requires a lot of introspection and prayer. And then, once I do that, then I can just expect somebody to meet those needs. Doesn't work that way. You know that. So when I can finally identify what I really need, then what am I supposed to do? Well, it's not rocket science. When I have figured out what I really need and can identify that, now my next step is to share that with the one from whom I want love. That's hard. It shouldn't be, but it is. First hard part is doing the thought work, right? It's a lot easier to not bother with the thought work and just realize I'm a victim. I'm a victim. That's it. They should have known. Never get you where you want to go. But when you do that, when you make the effort in partnership with Christ and you identify what your need is, and then sharing that need makes it possible for the one who truly loves you to do what they can to meet that need. Can that other person meet all my needs? No one person could, except this one person, Jesus. Which is a great Sunday school answer, but it seems a little bit unsatisfactory down here on the runway, down here at street level. I'm not going to talk much about that, but I am going to say when we are looking for others to read our mind and know what we need without us expressing what we feel and think our needs are, that's just, well, I don't want to be unkind, but that's silly. Okay. How do you pursue love? When I was a young man, before I married, I was a romantic. Holy cow. And I thought pursuing love, I wanted to have a love of my life. And eventually God gave me the love of my life. And then 7 more loves of my life. My wife, my 3 daughters, and my 4 grandchildren. Amazing. Well, okay. How do you pursue love? You chase it down? Here's how I think the best way to pursue love is to direct my effort toward understanding the need, the real need of the one I love, and then doing what I can to meet that need. And I think it begins with me saying in whatever words, there's no formula, but saying, what do you need that I could provide? Tell me what you're feeling you need. Now, you can do that in an accusatory way, and it becomes a weapon. It's just a bat to beat the other person with. That's not what I'm talking about. That doesn't pursue love. That drives love away. Pursue love. Be a student. I'm talking now about marriage, but it's broader than that. Be a student of your spouse. Be a student of your child. Hey, be a student of your boss. The second thing is for me because pursuing love is me going after loving another. The other side of that coin is me going after feeling loved. I have to share my need. And one of the big things that keeps that from happening is pride. Pride says, they should have known. They should make the first move. Pride. I don't know how to kill it. I've tried. Keeps coming back to life. Pursue love and humility. I'll see you next time on So Care with Stevie Boy.